भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ओम गुरुदेव भगवान शिव शंकर भोलेनाथ कैलाशपति महाराज की जय। भगवान व्यास जी महाराज की जय। शंकराचार्य भगवान की जय। स्वामी चिन्मयानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी दयानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी प्रबुद्धानंद भगवान की जय। माता पिता की जय। सभी गुरुदेवताओं की जय। सभी गुरुदेवताओं की जय। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्रीमद् भागवत गीता chapter 3. Yesterday we have seen verse number 23. यदेहयाहं नावर्त्यं जातु कर्मण्यत् इन्द्रियातः मम वत्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्यः पार्थ सर्वेशः। For should I not ever engage myself in action without being lazy, Arjuna, people would follow my example in every way. People follow the example of their leader. They do what their leader does. If leader performs no action, it will confuse and destroy its people. Krishna knew that if he did nothing, everyone would follow him, because doing nothing always looks easy. Activity definitely implies certain will. Thus, there is tendency to go for the convenient or the pleasant and to avoid anything that is painful. People generally think that most of the pleasant activity of all is to do nothing. Doing something may imply pain and therefore is thought to be unpleasant. So if people are to do anything at all, it should only be something that is pleasant. Krishna says in verse number 24, Utsidhyuri me loka na kurya karma chaidaham sankarasya chakrata syama upahanyami ma prajaha. Atma, I. In verse number 23, Krishna says to Arjuna that if ever he becomes inactive, all human beings would follow him in this respect. They may not have followed him certain other respect, but in this matter of inaction, they would definitely follow him. See what Krishna is doing. They would say, he just sits, therefore we should also just sit. What is the use of doing anything? This is like life of samsara is useless. Therefore, let's do nothing. No one who performs action ever achieves anything. So doing action was more important. Therefore, Krishna says, Aham, I, karma, action, na kuryam chet. If I were not to do these lokaha people, utsadyuhu would perish, cha and shankarasya of confusion, karata, author, sanyam would be, imaha, these prajaha, beings, upahanyam, I would destroy. If I were not to perform action, these people would perish. I would be the author of confusion in the society and I would destroy these things. If Krishna performed no action and people followed him, let them follow, one might say. The problem is that they would destroy themselves in the process. If the people have innumerable likes and dislikes and they do not perform the action that will fulfill them, what will happen? Because they have no viveka, discrimination, they will become insane, which is what destruction means here. There is no destruction for human being other than insanity. Everyone, normal and abnormal, is born of ignorance and error. And because there is very little difference between the empirical, the objective and subjective, this ignorance and error can lead to madness. These being a streak of madness in everyone. This is why it is said that the line between sanity and insanity is very fine line indeed. If you see an object, you do not see it objectively as an object, is because there is always certain subjectivity involved in the seeing. So it is very difficult to distinguish between the subjective projection and the objective appreciation. A sane person is one who has some objectivity, while an insane person has more subjectivity. He or she also has this much of objectivity, in that an insane person eats bread and not rocks, just as a sane person does. The problem is that such a person may feel prosecuted, for example, when in fact he or she is not. There may be some objectivity, but because there is a lot of subjectivity, we call the person insane. Even a person who is very objective may have some degree of subjectivity, but because the objectivity is more predominant, he or she is called normal. The person may expect that money will provide security, and expectation that cannot be described as very objective. Another indication of subjectivity is when the person does not take people as they are, and indeed projects his or her own fears upon them. Thus, the difference between those we describe as normal and those we call insane is not very much. The insane person is more subjective than objective, and sane person is little more objective than subjective. Insanity can occur with the increase of one's subjectivity and decrease of one's objectivity. It does not take much time and is what is meant here by destruction. Destruction doesn't mean destroying things always. Therefore, Krishna told Arjuna in this verse, if I don't perform karma, these people will definitely destroy themselves. They will destroy their sanity. Here, destruction means destroying the sanity. Krishna was talking about being in charge of all three worlds. Lokaha usually means world, but here it means people. Krishna did not say that if he performed no action in his capacity as Ishvara, all the worlds would fall apart. If this were the case, there would be no problem. We would all gain moksha because Ishvara turned lazy. This is the kind of translation that can happen if the word loka is not properly understood here. Krishna meant the people would destroy themselves if they perform no karma. He also said that if he performed no action, he would be the author of confusion. Arjuna thought if he fought his battle, he would create utter confusion in the society and thereby incur sin, in which is why he did not want to fight. Now Krishna was telling him that by not fighting, Arjuna would be creating confusion, because the people would also not do what was to be done. Knowing all this, Krishna knew that he himself had to set a good example, otherwise he would be the cause of everyone's destruction. The people had to do their karma. Not doing them was not going to help them. They may not have been very happy doing karma, but not doing it would be far worse. One big tamas, mass lethargy, would completely overtake the society. Previously, Krishna had pointed out that when one's buddhi, the intellect, is gone, the human being is destroyed. Buddhi nasat pranasyati. In chapter 2, we have seen this. This destruction is not physical, it is buddhi nasha, destruction of the intellect, the capacity to discriminate between what is and what is not. Here Krishna said if the people did not do what was to be done, there would be buddhi nasha, meaning that all reasoning would be gone and they would no longer be human beings. Thus, simply because people always take what is exalted person in the society does as their model, Krishna would be the cause of their destruction if he did not perform karma. A leader has to do karma. A leader has to lead from the front. This is what Krishna was trying to explain. A leader has to do. Leader has to do karma. Leader has to be wise. He has to do karma. He has to. The wise perform action to the base, bless the world. The wise perform action to bless the world. When wise men do karma, he does karma yoga for himself, but he blesses the world. Saktah karmanya vidvanso yada kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvam sattatah saktaschit krishuraloka sangraham. Verse number 25, chapter 3. Bharata, O Bharata, Arjuna, karmani, to action, saktah, attached, avidvamasha, the unwise, yatah, just as, kurvanti, perform action, tatah, so, vidhivan, the wise, loka sangraham, the protection of the people, chikrusha, desirous of doing, asaktaha, without attachment, kuryat, would perform. Hey Arjuna, Bharata, just as the unwise who are attached to the result perform action, so too would the wise perform action, but without attachment, desirous of doing that which is for the protection of the people. The wise man has to do action, same as the unwise do. But unwise do it with attachment. They do it for results. They want results out of their karmas. Karam phalas, they want phala. Whereas wise men do it without any attachment. same karma is to be done. King has to rule, king has to rule. Wise or unwise, king should do. If wise king does it the same way. Previously, Lord Krishna has said that he did not really have anything to be done because there was nothing for him to be done, accomplished in all three worlds, meaning here on earth, in the heavens, or in the other world. This was because he knew himself to be everything, Sarva Atma. Because Arjuna saw Krishna continuously immersed in activity. Krishna explained that he performed action to set an example, as we have seen. A leader has to do something. Here is in this verse, Lord Krishna asked Arjuna to suppose that he too were a knower of the Atma and Atmavit. There he too could say, hey Krishna, in all the three worlds there is nothing for me to accomplish because I am an Atmavit. I know I am everything. And knowing this, Arjuna could then also perform action. He would have nothing to lose. He too would perform action for the sake of the people. Otherwise he would be destroying them. The people did not know whether Arjuna knew or not. They only knew that he did. All they would see was Arjuna not doing what he was supposed to do, and would simply conclude that not performing action is preferable. Once again, Krishna was bringing up the argument that the people would follow Arjuna's lead, and because of this, Arjuna should set an example. Keeping this in mind, Krishna addressed Arjuna here as Bharata, for which there are two meanings. A person born in the family of Bharata may be referred as Bharata. Secondly, Bha means Brahma Vidya, knowledge of Brahman, and Tasyam Yahramate, the one who reveals in that. The knowledge of Brahman is called Bharata. Therefore, Arjuna was Bharata in this sense also, because he was receiving and revealing in the teaching of Brahman. In this verse, Vidhivan means one who has this knowledge of Avidwan. Vidwan means one who has the knowledge, and Avidwan is one who does not. Taking the self to be a doer. Avidwan is the person who takes himself as the doer. Taking themselves to be the doer, people are bound to karmas. They do not perform action for the sake of Antakaran Shuddhi, as explained earlier, but with the expectation that if I perform this action, I will gain this result. This expectation, this attitude is what is meant by attachment to karma. Action itself is not what people are attached to. They are attached to the result. Because people are interested in result, they undertake certain action with the combination of enthusiasm, anxiety and concern. What Krishna was saying here is, let Vidwan, the wise person, perform action with the same enthusiasm as a person who performs action for the results alone. Thus, enthusiasm is common factor between the two, whereas the anxiety and concerns are not. The anxiety of a Vidwan and concern of a Vidwan is different than from a Vidwan. A person who is attached to the result of action thinks such and such would happen to me. If I do this business, I'll earn profits. I'll earn this much of margin. 10%, 15%, 50%. For this person, there is no karma yoga buddhi, which is the prasad buddhi with the regard to result. He needs prasada for his karmas. The term dictating the actions are purely ragas and dveshas. The kartavya buddhi, the to be done attitude is not there for the person. When such a person undertakes activity, there is definitely going to be enthusiasm in anticipation of the result desired. A person runs for the gold. There's enthusiasm in his running. But this enthusiasm will dampen somewhat by the appreciation one has about getting undesirable result. Because there are no real guarantees that the action will produce the desired result. Some anxiety will always be there. And the more enthusiastic a person is with the reference to the result, the more anxious he or she naturally becomes. You will certainly win gold if you run. You might sometime win silver also. You're anxious. Anxiety is there. Whether I'll win or I'll lose. Or I'll come second. Whether I'll get 50% profit, what I am expecting. Or little less. Therefore, for one who does not know oneself as everything, anxiety accompanies enthusiasm, and with these the person performs action. Attitude is action. What attitude should be there in actions? Why is that the wise can undertake action with the same enthusiasm but without the anxiety and concern? The wise person is not concerned. There is not anxiety is lacking with the wise person because he doesn't need to get excited. He just runs because it is to be done for people to know that running is important and running will get you gold. This is purely because of the difference in attitude. A wise person performs action simply because it is to be done. How a result comes or whether the expected result comes or is not a concern for the wise. When the result comes, it is met with the equanimity. For a wise person, winning and losing is same thing. He doesn't bother. He looks for the next. He runs for running. He doesn't run for winning. Action is always result oriented, but action will bring result. Actions will bring result, whether Jnani does it or a Jnani does it. Actions will bring in result. No one can perform an action without expecting a result. Expectation of a particular result alone makes the action meaningful. The action performed without expecting a result is meaningless. An action is always done for some purpose, even if it is a kartavya, a to be done action. Thus the purpose of any action is always known, whereas whether the purpose is going to be fulfilled is definitely anyone's guess. The results are not in your hand. You can only plan what you will do, then do it and keep on doing it. But the result of the actions are not within your control. Thus, Krishna has said here that if Arjuna was an Atmavit, a Vidwan, he would perform whatever action was to be done by him with the same enthusiasm as people who are attached to the result, but without the attachment, in other words, minus the anxiety and heartburn. One may ask, why does a wise person perform action if he or she is not interested in the result? No one is saying that the person must perform action. But the question is, what does he or she lose by doing it? In fact, nothing is lost and there is a lot to be gained in terms of protecting others. It is true that the gain is not for the wise person, but there is nothing wrong with that. Let the others be protected and enjoy the gain. For a wise person who knows he or she is everything, there is nothing to be gained, nothing to be accomplished. So, keep on doing karma. One who wants to do something is called chikarshu. Thus, desire spoken to here is to protect the people, lok sangraha, those who want to perform action even though they have nothing to accomplish for themselves. Do not want the people to fall into ways they are non-productive and destructive. Therefore, to bless the world, to serve as an example to the world, the wise person performs action. What else is there to do for a person who has nothing to do but to set an example, thereby protecting the people? This is why Krishna was on the battlefield, in fact, driving Arjuna's chariot. Krishna had taken up a vow not to pick up any shastras. So what was he doing in the battlefield? There was no need. He was driving Arjuna's chariot. He wanted to set an example that to do. Krishna was definitely taking a risk sitting in front seat of the chariot. He was the one who would be bombarded. Every arrow would have to cross his head and shoulders before finding its way to Arjuna. If somebody wants to kill Arjuna, the arrow has to pass through Krishna's shoulder. Krishna would well be hit in the process. Being a charioteer is something like being a tank driver. Even though other men are using the weapon, the driver is risking his life. Thus Krishna was a much as saying to Arjuna, I am your driver and therefore I am taking a great risk. I have actually given you my neck, in fact, for the protection of the order, the dharma, and thereby for protection of the people. Dharma itself is not something that has to be protected. To think so would be idealism. In fact, it is dharmis, the people who follow dharma, they are to be protected. There is no such thing as protection of dharma. Other than the people who follow it, the dharma, the order is meant for the people. When it is said that dharma is to be protected, what is meant is that the people who follow dharma are to be protected. Krishna had made it very clear that there are no kartavya to be done action for him or anyone who has the knowledge of Atma. There is no mandate that say you should continue to do karma. Whatever an Atmavit does is only for the blessings to the world. This being the contention, Krishna told Arjuna that he should determine what is to be done for good of the people alone. And then he should do it. If Arjuna were to tell that people that there is no action to be done, kartavyam nasti, it would be wrong. And if he set a wrong example by performing no action himself, others would be disturbed. As a word of advice to those who already have knowledge to the self, this theme was repeated by Krishna in next verse. Verse number 26. An Atmavit does not disturb people who lack discrimination. Na buddhi bhedam janayed jnanam karma sanginam joshyet sarva karmani vidwan yuktah smacharan. Karma sanghinam, of the people who are committed to the result of action. Ajananam, of the people who are ignorant. Buddhi bhedam, disturbance of one's understanding. Vidwan, one who knows the Atma. Na janyate, should not create. Yuktah, the wise person, steadfast in the knowledge. Sarva karmani, all actions, samacharana, performing them well, jyotse, should encourage the ignorant people. This is very important. The one who knows the Atma should not create any disturbance in the understanding of the ignorant who are attached to the results of action. The wise person, steadfast in knowledge, himself performing all the actions well, should encourage the ignorant into performing all actions. In this verse, Krishna is saying, may this Atmavit, the one who knows the Atma, not produce any disturbance in the attitude of those who are ignorant. Those who are committed to the result of action, karma phala, karma sangis, are those who have sangha, attachment, meaning here an attachment to the result of karma, lacking discrimination. These people are not karma yogis, and Krishna was telling Arjuna not to disturb them. Na buddhi bhedam janyate. Those who know a little Vedanta often says to other, what is this karma that you are doing? These rituals and prayers are not going to help you. Why do you go on chanting Hare Rama, Hare Krishna all the time? You are wasting your time. Such statements do nothing but create unnecessary problems. Therefore, Krishna said, do not disturb their understanding. These people need to be encouraged to do karma according to dharma, nothing more. Dharma and adharma can be discussed with them in terms of various pursuits, but they should not be disturbed by being told not to do any karma, since they are not ready for what that really means. See, knowledge is to be given to a right person. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. See, after what the knowledge is to be given, it is very, very difficult. You have to be very wise, the person who requires knowledge and who don't. It's a very thin line, the person who will understand and who will not. So knowledge is to be given to the right person, a jigyasu only. Knowledge cannot be given to everybody, only to jigyasu, the one who wants the Brahma Jnana. The one whose buddhi is ready. Antakaran Shuddhi se buddhi ready. If buddhi is ready, only then the Jnana will happen. So don't disturb. They should not be disturbed by being told not to do any karma, since they are not ready for what that really means. Had Krishna and Arjuna lived their life doing nothing, and had all the enlightened people around them also done nothing, people would certainly have concluded that the right thing was to do nothing. People who are bought to be enlightened are considered to be elite in a given society, and whatever they do becomes law for others. Therefore, such people are leaders, shreshtas, and these leaders, including the Atmavit, should not disturb the mind of those who follow them. Should not disturb the peace of following. Just as you cannot alter the direction of a river unless you do it very gradually, so too the direction that person's life is taking can only be altered gradually. A sensitive person, one who really cares for another person, brings about change in that person by going through the flow, altering the direction of his or her life little by little in a helpful way. The word Vidwan in the second line of this verse refers to the wise person who is asked not to disturb the understanding of an Ajnani, one who is ignorant. Yuktaha is another word for Vidwana, meaning the one who is Jnana Yukta, endowed with the knowledge. Even though such person does not have anything to accomplish and does not lose anything either, he or she sets an example for others to follow. For example, a Vidwan does not pass a temple but enters, offers prayer, and may even compose a verse in praise of the Lord. A Vidwan does not need to go into the temple because the person is a temple up to himself and herself. If this way a Vidwan performs all the karma that are to be done, Shankara consecrated many temples and composed verses in praise of Lord. If the Vidwan happens to be a Grihastha, the karma's mandate for this particular ashrams are to be followed by him or her. And if the person happens to be a sannyasi's life is to be followed. Here Krishna was talking about Grihasthas. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Mudamate. A Grihastha is a householder. He or she is not remunerated. But such a person, there are different level of karmas, obligations to the society, to one's parent, to one's own immediate family members, to the devatas, and so on. In this verse, Krishna instructed the wise who is a Grihastha to set an example for others because it was the best way to teach them. Leading a wise person, wise Grihastha should lead a proper life, because his life is going to be followed by others. He has to be a Shrestha. A wise person is a person with a Viveka Buddhi is a wise person. And people follow him. So, wise person should not disturb the followers, their thinking. There are two types of teaching. Teaching can be done setting an example as is done with the reference to karma and dharma. Of course, the one who is teaching also says that certain things are to be done and not to be done. For the most part, however, karma and dharma are best taught by example. Only then will the words of the one who is teaching carry any weight. The words of a person who has lived a good life always carry more weight than those of the one who has not. In the case of Atma Jnana, the teaching is not by example, it is to be taught by using words. This then is the other type of teaching. You cannot follow an Atma Jnani. You cannot say that because he or she does this or that, I will do the same and become enlightened. If it doesn't work this way, because we are dealing with knowledge. Therefore, unlike a life of dharma, Atma Jnana cannot be taught by example. It must be taught by words. Shabda, whether few or many, words being the pramana here. That is why it is said the words are pramana, the shastras are the pramana to the knowledge. In teaching any subject matter, if the person knows what he or she is talking about, the words carry weight. They sound true. As the words are spoken, you see their meaning. Naturally, the words of the person who knows that he or she is talking about are different from those of everyone else. Still, teaching by using word is not teaching by setting an example. What example are you setting when you tell someone that he or she is Brahman? Do you close your eyes? Do you walk around to remain seated? There is no example involved in telling a person that he or she is a Brahman. When Krishna compared a wise person to an ignorant person by saying that what was night for one was day for the other, he was speaking from the position of desperation in terms of setting an example. So, to say that when the ignorant are sleeping, the wise person is awake, and when they are awake, the wise person is sleeping, simply means that they are never meet. We see something similar in today's families where the father works so hard that he leaves the house too early in the morning to see children and comes home so late to find them again sleeping. Just as the father and children never meet, the wise person and the other wise also never meet. That is night for one is day for the other, and what is day for one is night for the other. Example setting is the only reference to Dharma Shastra, not with the reference to Jnana. This point needs to be recognized because these are those who advocate teaching Atma Jnana by example. There is no example for Atma Jnana. The only way a wise person can set example here is by doing karma properly. When he does the karma well, a wise person makes others do their various karmas because the people will follow him or her. Krishna in verse number next 27 will explain how a person gets attached to karma. Prakrate kriyamani gune karmani sarvashah ahankara vimurdatma kartahamiti manyate. Actions are performed in various ways impelled by the gunas of Prakriti, the body, mind and senses. Deluded by I notion, one thinks I am the doer. These words we'll see tomorrow. Om Tat Sat. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gurubhyo Namah.